Perseus. Well, we all know about him. Well, he's a demigod, son of Zeus, and he's the one who slayed the Gorgon Medusa. But that is nowhere close to the full story of Perseus. To begin with his story, we have to look way back, with the start with King Perseus of Argos. King Perseus had only one daughter named Danae, and was disappointed not to have a son. King Perseus, in the hopes of having a male heir to his throne, consulted the oracle of Delphi. But there he received an unpleasant prophecy by the oracle. The oracle warned him that his only daughter's son will be the cause of his death. Terrified by it, Perseus imprisoned his daughter in a bronze chamber. This is to ensure that his daughter doesn't get to have any child, thus securing his life. And thus Danae was imprisoned. In her loneliness, she prayed to the gods, and Zeus answered. Zeus came to her in the form of a golden shower and impregnated her. This reunion gave birth to Perseus, one of the first Greek heroes. Knowing this news, Perseus gets worried and tries to solve the situation. So he decided to throw his daughter and his grandson in the sea locked in a box, in the hopes of drowning them. But by the mercy of the gods, they survive and washes up in the island of Cetus. A fisherman was nearby, and they got caught in their net and thus was saved by the fisherman Cetus. Cetus took them both, and Perseus was raised and grew to be a strong boy. This is when the king of Cetus, Polydectes, caught an eye on Danae, Perseus' mother. He wanted to marry her, but that was not possible while Perseus was there. So he plotted against Perseus and told him that he is getting married to the princess Hippodamia, and as a gift he had to bring a horse to their wedding. King Polydectes knew that Perseus didn't have a horse as he is poor, so he convinced Perseus for an impossible task as an excuse to make him get away from Cetus. He gave Perseus the task to bring him the head of Medusa, the dreadful Gorgon. But Perseus didn't fear such task and gladly accepted it, and went on a journey to fulfill his mission. While King Polydectes was glad to see him sent to his doom, so that he can marry Danae, Perseus started to search the Gorgon's lair, but he wandered for many days and has failed to find any such things, as it is known to no man. This is exactly when, during the journey, a tall woman and a young man appeared before Perseus, only to reveal themselves as gods. They were the goddess Athena and the messenger god Hermes, who came to his aid in his journey. Hermes gave Perseus a golden winged sandals, and Athena gave him a shiny shield and a curved sword made of adamantine, the metal of the gods. They advised Perseus to visit the Grey Sisters, who were sisters to the three Gorgons. The Grey Sisters stayed in a cave and shared one eye and one teeth. Without any fear, Perseus entered the cave and snatched their eye and blackmailed them. Without any option, the sisters gave him the direction to the nymphs of the north. The nymphs of the north gave him the location of the Gorgons and gave him the kibisis, a magic bag capable of holding Medusa's head, and also gave him the helm of Hades. Perseus flew to the cave without fear and encountered the Gorgon Medusa. Medusa was a monster with hair full of snakes and eyes of glowing red, and whoever looked into her eyes will turn into stone. With the sword that the gods gave him, he gave a slash and cut off Medusa's head, and prepared to get back to his home Cetus. He flew across the sky by the help of the winged sandals Hermes gave him. At the region of Ethiopia, he encountered a beautiful princess tied on a rock. That was Andromeda, the princess of Ethiopia. Her mother, the queen, has angered the sea itself, and as redemption, she had to sacrifice her daughter to the monster Cetus. Of course, Perseus is not going to let that happen and intervened. With his superhuman skills and power, he defeated the monster Cetus and freed the princess. He offered his hand to Andromeda, and both get married. On returning to Seriphos, he discovered that King Polydectes has forcefully married his mother. Furious, he stormed into his court and unleashed Medusa's head that turned Polydectes into stone. After defeating and overthrowing Polydectes, he made Dictys, the fisherman, the king as an act of kindness for saving his mother and him as a baby. Perseus accomplished high feats by killing the Gorgon Medusa and defeating Cetus and marrying Andromeda, and then they happily lived ever after. Well, you might ask, there was a prophecy of him killing King Perseus, so what about that? Well, after many years, he went to Larissa for the athletic games. One of the spectators was King Perseus, and when Perseus threw a discus in the game, it accidentally hit Perseus in the head and killed him. After knowing Perseus' identity, he was ashamed to kill his grandfather and left. After some time, he founded the legendary city of Mycenae, where many great kings and rulers would come to be in ancient Greece. They reigned there for many years and had 6 children. This family would later give birth to the famous Greek hero Hercules, who is unmatched at greatness, strength, and prowess.